Act like you are the best because in this world, power never asks for permission. No one chooses the lion to be king. He becomes king by how he acts and his strong belief in himself. That's the truth about power. What people see becomes what is real. People don't follow what's right. They follow what's strong. So act like no one can touch you. Move with the quiet confidence of someone who knows he is worth something and doesn't need to explain himself. Powerful people don't beg for others to notice them. They shine naturally. Every move, every silence, every careful look must get attention without saying a word. Weak people need others to tell them they're good. Strong people create that feeling themselves. When you walk into a room, your energy should tell the story before you speak. Your body language, your voice, your stillness, all should say, I am not here to compete. I am here to win. Remember this. The world listens to people who are certain. Doubt is the smell of weakness. If you want to be in charge, you must believe you are the best until it becomes real. Never say sorry for being great. Own it. Show it. Live it. Because the moment you do, others will follow you whether they want to or not. Comment below. I am the one they cannot replace. Number 2, the psychology of being superior. Being superior starts in your mind long before it shows in the world. The greatest men in history didn't rise because someone picked them. They rose because they picked themselves. Understand this. People listen to confidence the way metal listens to a magnet. They are pulled towards strength, towards certainty, towards someone who doesn't back down. When you move like you already own the kingdom, others unconsciously accept that as true. It's dark psychology, the skill of planting power into the minds of people around you. Your energy must send a simple message. I cannot be stopped. You must become a mirror that shows strength. When they look at you, they should see someone who doesn't doubt, doesn't hesitate, doesn't need approval. You are the storm they can't predict and the silence they can't ignore. Machiavelli said it best. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Fear is not being mean. It's control. It's understanding that to keep respect, you must never be too easy to reach. Powerful people create distance. They stay hard to predict. Mystery creates interest, and interest feeds power. The moment they think they fully understand you, they'll stop respecting you. So give them just enough to admire, but never enough to fully know. Stay one step ahead always. Your power is in what they don't know about you. To act superior is not being cocky. It's strategy. Being cocky shows you're unsure. Being superior shines through. It's not loud. It's not bragging. It's calm, careful, dangerous. The superior man does not chase validation. He creates it from within. When you walk like the ground itself is honored to feel your steps. When you speak, your words mean more than gold because you speak with belief, not noise. You don't react. You calculate. You don't explain. You command. That's how you become untouchable, by mastering your own mind before the world even notices you've done it. Now, type it in the comments. Burn it into your mind. I cannot be stopped. Number 3, the power of detachment. Detachment, that's the greatest jewel of power. The moment you learn to feel everything yet be owned by nothing, you rise above everyone else. Most people are slaves to emotion. They react. They overthink. They chase validation like addicts chasing their next fix. But the superior man, the Machiavellian man, he controls emotion as a weapon, not as a weakness. He feels anger, but he doesn't show it. He feels desire, but he doesn't chase it. He feels pain, but he turns it into planning. This is where your change begins, when you learn to move like a shadow with a heartbeat, detached, calm, and unpredictable. The detached man is dangerous because he cannot be controlled. You cannot control what you cannot move. Machiavelli taught that power belongs to those who can separate their feelings from their goals. Compassion without strategy is weakness. Love without limits becomes something others use against you. To master detachment, you must stop fighting for peace and become it. When you detach, you stop reacting. You start watching. You stop asking, why did they do this to me? And start thinking, what does this show about their weakness? You stop being the hunted and become the hunter. In every interaction, your goal is not emotional satisfaction, it's leverage. And when you no longer need anything from anyone, not their attention, not their approval, not even their love, that's when they start giving it to you. People are addicted to those who don't need them. It's a puzzle that drives the world. Detachment makes you magnetic. You become the calm in chaos, the center of the storm everyone circles around. When you master your emotions, you master what people see, and what people see is the battlefield of power. So train your mind to stay still when others panic. Let them drown in their impulses while you rise in silence. You are the mountain, unshaken by wind, untouched by storms. Now write it below. Let it burn into who you are. I own my emotions. Nothing owns me. Number 4, control the game, never play it. Power is not won by the loudest voice or the fastest move. It's earned by the one who controls the board while pretending to just play. The Machiavellian mind understands this simple truth. People who chase power rarely keep it. But those who make others chase them, those are the ones who rule. Every move you make must be careful, strategic, and hidden behind the appearance of being effortless. The moment they think they understand your plan, change it. The moment they expect your reaction, give them silence. Power grows in being unpredictable. You must become the ghost in the game, always there, never predictable. When you control the game, you control what people see. And what people see is reality. Let others believe they're in control while their choices, emotions, and results bend quietly toward your plan. That is the heart of dark psychology, quiet influence, invisible strings. You don't force obedience, you invite it. You don't demand loyalty, you engineer it. You create an environment where people want to serve your interests because it matches their desires. That's the highest form of control, not through fear, but through mental design. Machiavelli warned that those who show all their cards invite betrayal. So never reveal your full hand. Never explain your plans until your victory is certain. Mystery keeps you safe. Openness makes you a target. Keep them guessing. Keep them curious. When people cannot predict you, they cannot prepare for you. When they cannot prepare for you, they cannot defeat you. Strategy isn't about reacting. It's about seeing ahead. You must think 5 moves ahead always. And while others fight battles you've already won in your mind, you simply watch them tire out. The key is to appear calm, together, and detached. Even when chaos explodes around you, your silence must be louder than their words. Your control must scare more than their aggression. Every move you make should serve a purpose, even your stillness. Remember this. Kings don't argue. They watch, decide, and command. Never let them pull you into their drama. That's how peasants fight. Your arena is mental, not emotional. So take this mindset and carve it into your bones. I control the game. I never play it. Write it in the comments. Let the world know you move by strategy, not impulse. Number 5, silence, mystery, and psychological gravity. Power doesn't shout. It doesn't beg to be seen. True power is silent, a calm force that bends the world without lifting a finger. The greatest emperors, conquerors, and manipulators all understood this. Silence creates tension, and tension creates control. When you speak too often, you leak power. When you explain yourself, you expose your plans. But when you speak rarely, when your words are chosen like weapons, people listen. Your silence becomes their obsession. They start to fill it with their own imagination. And imagination is always louder than truth. Mystery is your armor. It is the shadow that makes your presence feel endless. When people can't define you, they fear you. They wonder what you know, what you're thinking, what you're planning. And in that wondering, they hand you control. Machiavelli wrote that men judge more by the eye than by the hand, meaning what people see matters more than reality. You don't have to be unstoppable. You must simply appear untouchable. Your mystery becomes a gravitational field pulling people toward you, making them orbit your aura without understanding why. This is psychological gravity, the silent magnetism of dominance. To build it, learn restraint. Most men reveal too much because they want connection or attention. But you must starve that instinct. You don't need to be understood. You need to be felt. You walk into a room and your stillness says more than 1,000 words. You make eye contact like a mirror, calm, unreadable, commanding. When others speak, you listen, but you never react right away. That pause, that moment of controlled silence, it breaks them. They start to question themselves, to fill the void with nervous talk, with weakness. You stay still, and in that stillness, you dominate. Mystery also demands contradiction. Don't be predictable. Be warm one moment, cold the next. Let people sense danger beneath your calm. Keep them curious, never comfortable. A man who is fully known loses power. A man who is partly understood becomes legend. Even when you show emotion, let it be deliberate. Let your anger serve a purpose. Let your compassion be a calculated gift, not a reflex. The key is control over expression, over presence, over the story. Understand this. Silence is not absence. It is dominance without noise. It is the mind of a strategist disguised as calm. It is the pause before the storm, the signal that you decide when chaos begins and ends. When you master this, you no longer chase attention. Attention bows to you. Now comment below. Let it echo through the shadows of your will. My silence commands the room. Number 6, manipulate energy, dominate the room. When you walk into a room, understand this. Power is not a title. It's not a position. It's an energy. It's the invisible current that shifts the atmosphere the moment you enter. Most people walk in looking for approval, scanning faces, adjusting themselves to fit in. But the powerful, they make the room adjust to them. The truly dominant don't seek belonging. They redefine the environment. This is the art of energy manipulation, the ability to command attention, influence emotion, and control what people see without saying a word. Your energy is your signal to the world. It tells people how to treat you before you even speak. A weak presence leaks uncertainty through posture, tone, nervous laughter, and restless eyes. But a powerful presence radiates quiet certainty. Every movement is economical, careful, and slow. There's no rush, no anxiety, no performance, just gravity, the kind that makes people lower their voices when you pass. Machiavelli would tell you, appear confident even when you are not, for confidence creates belief, and belief becomes reality. When you act like you are the best, people start to treat you like it's true, not because they know, but because they feel it. The psychology behind this is simple. Humans mirror energy. If you project calm dominance, others will unconsciously sync to your frequency. They'll soften their tone, hesitate to interrupt, and begin to defer to your unspoken authority. This is not arrogance. It's calibration. You are setting the tone. Your composure dictates the tempo of the room. Never compete for attention. Absorb it. The sun doesn't fight to be seen. It simply rises, and the world must acknowledge it. To master energy, you must master stillness. Every strong presence begins with control over breath, posture, and emotion. Your breath must be slow and deep, never shallow, never rushed. Your posture must speak of ownership, not aggression. Shoulders back, spine straight, gaze steady. And your emotions must be invisible armor, not absence of feeling, but mastery of expression. Anger, excitement, or fear, all must stay beneath the surface. The man who can control his energy controls the entire room. But remember, power isn't about constant dominance. It's about rhythm. The Machiavellian manipulates the tempo, switching between intensity and calm to destabilize others. Speak softly when they expect force. Pause when they expect answers. Smile when they expect silence. Keep them guessing. People are slaves to predictability. Break their rhythm, and you own their attention. The moment you become predictable, you lose psychological ground. Surprise keeps you superior. Presence also extends beyond the physical. Your reputation, the echo of your energy, must precede you. Build an aura of quiet capability. Don't brag about your power. Let stories circulate. Let your restraint create rumors. Let your mystery create mythology. The moment you need to prove yourself, you've already lost the upper hand. The powerful never explain. They demonstrate through subtle influence, through results that speak louder than declarations. Another secret, don't match the energy in the room. Control it. If the room is chaotic, stay calm. If it's tense, remain unfazed. If it's silent, let your words fall like thunder. This difference forces everyone else to calibrate to you. You become the center, the reference point. That's dominance, not by aggression, but by gravitational pull. The more you can stay still in a world addicted to reaction, the more your presence becomes magnetic. And don't mistake charisma for performance. Charisma isn't charm, it's control. It's the ability to project confidence without needing applause. It's the balance of warmth and danger, approachable but never accessible. You make people feel they can reach you, yet never touch the core of who you are. They want your approval, your attention, your energy, but you give it sparingly. That's how you build demand. That's how legends are formed. When you dominate a room, your body language should whisper authority, not scream it. Your silence should feel heavy. Your words should land like calculated strikes. Every glance should be measured, not rushed, not distracted. Look people in the eye like you're studying their soul. Then break contact deliberately, signaling you've already understood what you needed to know. You must project the paradox of presence. Calm but commanding, distant yet magnetic, silent yet unforgettable. This is the energy of kings, of conquerors, of men who bend the will of others without raising their voices. It's not about intimidation. It's about inevitability, the energy that says, I don't chase, I attract. I don't react, I dictate. You must live it, breathe it, embody it until it becomes instinct. Now carve this into your mind and type it in the comments like a declaration of your becoming. I control the energy. I command the room. Number 7, war without weapons, the art of psychological warfare. Power doesn't always need an army. The most dangerous wars are fought without swords, without blood, fought in silence, in conversation, in perception. The battlefield is the mind and the prize is control. Psychological warfare is the Machiavellian's true domain. It's not about brute strength. It's about subtlety, precision, and cold understanding of human nature. You win not by attacking directly, but by guiding others into traps of their own creation. That's real dominance, not by force, but by foresight. Understand this. Every interaction is a negotiation for power. Every word exchanged, every gesture observed, every silence held, all are tactical weapons. Weak men fight with emotion. Strong men fight with manipulation. They know when to provoke, when to flatter, when to disappear. They know how to twist perception so that even truth bends around them. Machiavelli called it the appearance of virtue. You don't need to be good. You need to look good while doing what's necessary. The world rewards perception, not purity. The first rule of psychological warfare: never reveal your intentions. Once they know what you want, they can resist. Once they can predict you, they can neutralize you. Keep them confused, curious, uncertain. Uncertainty breeds submission. When people can't read you, they fear disappointing you. When they don't understand your motives, they hesitate. And hesitation is your ally. Hesitation gives you control. You become the only one who seems sure, the only one who seems unshaken. And in chaos, certainty looks like leadership. The second rule: learn to weaponize empathy. Not to feel it, but to use it. Understand people, their needs, fears, and insecurities, better than they understand themselves. The mind that knows another's desires controls their behavior. Flattery is not empty praise. It's targeted influence. Feed people's egos strategically. Make them feel seen, but only in the way that serves your goal. Make them believe you value them, and they'll hand you their loyalty. Machiavelli said, men are driven by two things, love or fear. The master of manipulation uses both. He makes people feel safe and scared to lose that safety. The third rule: never attack directly when you can corrode silently. Direct confrontation alerts the enemy, but influence, slow, invisible influence, changes them before they notice. Spread doubt. Whisper truth mixed with lies. Plant small seeds that grow into trees of confusion. When someone questions their own judgment, you have already won. The superior manipulator makes others fight themselves. They defend you even as you dismantle them. Psychological warfare is chess, not checkers. You must see 10 moves ahead. Anticipate reactions, predict emotions, and build traps that feel like choices. Offer people freedom, but make sure every path leads to your outcome. That's Machiavellian mastery, the illusion of choice under the architecture of control. You must also understand the value of silence in battle. The one who speaks first often exposes himself. The one who answers every question reveals his mind. But the one who pauses, who measures his words, he owns the rhythm. Silence makes people project. They fill it with their insecurities, their assumptions, their need for validation. And you learn everything without revealing anything. Every second of silence is a blade against their mind. Deception, too, is an art. But the best deception doesn't feel like a lie. It feels like truth they want to believe. Manipulation isn't shouting commands. It's whispering agreement. It's creating alignment that benefits you while they think it benefits them. Give people what they crave: validation, belonging, purpose, and they'll never notice you're leading them. To wage psychological war, you must master detachment, emotional neutrality. You cannot afford to react. The second you get angry, emotional, or defensive, you've surrendered your mind. The manipulator thrives on calmness. Even when you're cornered, you must appear unbothered because perception of control is control. You don't panic. You observe. You don't argue. You redirect. You don't fight. You guide. Another secret: never underestimate small psychological wins. A single word, a small pause, a delayed reaction, these are weapons. A well-timed compliment disarms suspicion. A sudden withdrawal breeds anxiety. A calm stare can intimidate more than a scream. People respond not to truth, but to how truth feels. Control the feeling, and you control their world. In warfare, deception must look like sincerity. If you need to manipulate, Do it with elegance. Smile as you maneuver. Let kindness be your camouflage. Machiavelli wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." You must be both, strong enough to command and cunning enough to deceive. Sometimes power is showing force. Other times it's pretending weakness, so they lower their guard. Feigned vulnerability is one of the sharpest tools in your arsenal. Psychological dominance also means mastering your reputation. Build a myth around your name. Let whispers of your unpredictability travel ahead of you. Reputation fights battles for you that you'll never need to enter. People fear the idea of you long before they meet you. Your silence will sound like strategy. Your unpredictability will feel like danger. They'll avoid conflict because they don't know your limits. And that's how you win wars without fighting. Remember, in every interaction, someone leads and someone follows. Someone frames reality and someone accepts it. Always be the one defining meaning, setting tone, and controlling interpretation. If someone insults you, redefine it as amusement. If they oppose you, frame them as jealous. Never let them control the story. He who controls the story controls perception. And he who controls perception controls power. So your mission is not to fight, it's to govern perception. You will never need to raise your voice when your presence already commands obedience. You will never need to threaten when your calmness terrifies more than aggression. When you master psychological warfare, your enemies destroy themselves trying to understand you. Let this truth sink in. Power isn't about being the strongest. It's about being the one who never loses control, not of others, but of yourself. That's how you become untouchable. You don't win arguments, you win minds. You don't seek approval, you create dependence. And you never show all your power, only enough for them to feel it. Now, type it in the comments like a ritual of dominance, a phrase that seals your intent. I fight with mind, not emotion. I win without war. Number 8, the Iron Code, discipline, routine, and ruthless self-mastery. Power isn't built in moments of motivation. It's forged in monotony. The great conquerors, the silent emperors of reality, they all share one trait, ruthless discipline. Not the kind that shouts, not the kind that flexes online, but the kind that bleeds quietly behind closed doors. You see, Machiavellian strength isn't just strategy. It's structure. You cannot dominate others if you cannot first dominate yourself. Every weakness within you is a hole in your armor. Every lack of discipline is a crack in your empire. Power begins when you stop negotiating with your excuses. You want control over your life? Then wake up every day like the world owes you nothing. Because it doesn't. The weak seek comfort. The strong seek control. The difference between the two is simple. One reacts, the other decides. Discipline is the art of deciding who you'll be every day without hesitation. While others wait for motivation, you move from mandate. You act not because you feel like it, but because it's who you are. You become the kind of man whose habits make emotion irrelevant. Routine is your fortress. Your daily systems protect you from chaos. Every morning ritual, every night of planning, every moment of focus. These are your silent wars against weakness. Machiavelli understood this deeply. Order breeds power. When your life runs like a machine, your mind stays free to think, to plan, to strike. You don't waste energy fighting distractions. You channel it into direction. The world belongs to those who can delay gratification, those who can suffer strategically today to own tomorrow. You must treat yourself as both the ruler and the subject. Command yourself with authority. When your mind says rest, answer with earn it. When it says later, answer with now. Each time you obey weakness, you reinforce submission. But each time you conquer it, you reinforce dominance. Discipline isn't punishment. It's freedom. It's the knowledge that nothing external can shake you because you've already conquered the internal. Power demands routine not because routine is exciting, but because it's predictable, and predictability creates results. The man who trains daily, body, mind, and spirit becomes untouchable. His habits turn him into a force of nature. He doesn't chase energy. He manufactures it. He doesn't rely on mood. He relies on mastery. That's the Iron Code. Do what must be done whether the fire burns or not. Self-mastery means knowing your triggers and strangling them before they control you. Cut off every weakness that slows your ascent. Too much comfort? Remove it. Too much distraction? Silence it. Too much validation? Deny it. You don't need noise, approval, or company. You need purpose. Every distraction is an assassin disguised as pleasure. Every indulgence is a delay in your evolution. Power belongs to the man who can walk alone, who can sit in silence without needing escape, who can work relentlessly without applause. And understand this, routine is not robotic. It's strategic. Your structure must serve your mission. Your mornings are sacred ground where warriors sharpen the mind before the day begins. Your nights are reflections of your progress, the audit of a ruler analyzing his empire. Every meal, every hour, every task must feed your power. Stop living reactively. Start living deliberately. Machiavelli would tell you, control time or time will control you. The disciplined man is feared because he cannot be manipulated. You can't bribe him with comfort. You can't distract him with temptation. You can't move him with emotion. He's too focused on the mission to care about the noise. His eyes are fixed on empire. His steps are measured. His will is iron. That's the kind of man who bends the world, not through luck, but through relentless consistency. So build your discipline like an empire, one brick at a time. Every workout, every book, every cold morning you don't skip, every temptation you silence. Each is a brick in the fortress of your dominance. While others crumble under indulgence, you rise in silence. You will look back one day and realize that the man who built you was forged in boredom, repetition, and resolve. The Machiavellian truth is brutal. The world doesn't respect desire. It respects results. Desire is cheap. Discipline is currency. The strong don't pray for power. They prepare for it. And when opportunity arrives, they're already ready, already sharpened, already unshakable. Now write it below, not as a comment, but as a contract with your own future. My discipline is my dominion. Number 9, the laws of control, power, deception, and the psychology of influence. Control, the single word that separates kings from pawns, predators from prey. The world bows to those who control perception, emotion, and narrative. Power is never truly taken. It's given by those too blind to realize they're surrendering it. The Machiavellian man understands this deeply. He knows that true power is not about domination through force, but manipulation through finesse. The strongest rulers were not the loudest. They were the most patient, the most calculating, the most unreadable. To control others, you must first master the illusion of transparency. Let them believe they see the real you while keeping your true motives locked away. Machiavelli taught that a ruler must appear virtuous, compassionate, loyal, honest, while being ruthless beneath the surface. Because the masses crave morality, not truth. They want to believe in heroes, not strategists. So give them their illusion. Smile when you plan. Praise when you plot. Keep your enemies close enough to study, but never close enough to strike first. Your weapon is not your strength. It's their belief in your harmlessness. Deception, when wielded with precision, becomes art. The art of making others think they're leading while they follow your design. People love control, so give them the illusion of it. Ask questions that make them feel wise. Compliment their insight. Let them think they've convinced you. Meanwhile, every decision bends quietly in your direction. That's the essence of influence, guiding others to your conclusion while letting them think it was theirs. The Machiavellian never demands obedience. He engineers it. The second law of control, own the frame. Every conversation, every argument, every interaction is a battle for framing reality. Whoever defines the meaning of an event owns the power. If someone insults you, redefine it. If they question you, turn it into amusement. Never defend yourself. Redirect. When they attack, stay calm. Let their emotion expose them. The more reactive they become, the more composed you appear. And in that contrast, the room decides who's truly dominant. Frame every moment as though you've already won. That's psychological command. Control also requires strategic emotion. The Machiavellian doesn't eliminate emotion, he weaponizes it. A flash of controlled anger can freeze a room. A single act of unexpected kindness can bind loyalty stronger than fear. You must understand emotion like a surgeon understands anatomy. Every reaction, every insecurity, every ego wound. Use empathy as your compass, not your cage. Know what people crave: validation, status, belonging, and use those cravings to build invisible chains. You never tell them what to do. You make them want to do it. And then there's fear, the most misunderstood tool of power. Fear doesn't mean cruelty. It means respect enforced through unpredictability. The powerful man doesn't need to threaten. His silence is enough. The uncertainty of what you might do keeps people compliant. Never be fully predictable. Never be fully accessible. Familiarity breeds weakness. Distance breeds intrigue. Make your presence scarce but impactful. When you appear, the air should shift. When you speak, Words should feel deliberate like judgment. Machiavelli once wrote that the wise ruler must learn how not to be good. Not evil, but strategic. Because morality without strategy is suicide in a world ruled by perception. To control others, you must sometimes play roles. The saint, the ally, the fool. All masks worn by the same calculating mind. Be flexible. Be fluid. The oak tree breaks in the storm. The serpent survives because it bends, it adapts, it strikes only when the time is right. The third law of control: never react to disrespect. Weak men crave reaction. Strong men convert insult into silence. Every time you respond emotionally, you confirm their power over your mood. Every time you remain indifferent, you destroy their influence. Remember, reaction is currency. Never spend it cheaply. Influence is the highest form of dominance because it doesn't require force. It doesn't scream, it whispers. When you master influence, people fight your battles for you. They defend you. They mimic you. They serve your purpose believing it's their choice. That's not luck. That's psychological engineering. So, write it below, the declaration of your ascent into mastery. I control my world. Nothing moves without my design. Number 10, the final ascension, becoming untouchable. Untouchable, that's the final evolution, the state beyond doubt, beyond comparison, beyond reach. When you master yourself, your emotions, your presence, and your strategy, you no longer chase power. You become it. This is where all the Machiavellian laws converge: control, detachment, mystery, and relentless discipline. The untouchable man doesn't need validation, doesn't need recognition, doesn't need approval. He stands alone, carved from fire and silence. He knows his worth because he built it brick by brutal brick. To become untouchable, you must first kill your dependence on everything external. Opinions, praise, relationships, distractions, all of them are chains. Every time you need something from the world, you hand it leverage over you. So take it back. Starve the world of your dependence. The one who needs nothing cannot be threatened. When they try to manipulate you, they'll fail because your happiness isn't for sale. When they try to intimidate you, they'll realize fear doesn't live in your mind. You've burned weakness out of your system through trial, silence, and sacrifice. That's the true throne, the empire of inner control. The untouchable man doesn't seek to prove himself. He simply exists as proof. His energy does the speaking. His actions echo louder than words. He walks into a room not to impress, but to dominate reality through composure. He carries stillness like armor, power like gravity. His gaze, his posture, his aura, all communicate one thing: I am inevitable. People sense it before he speaks. They respect it without understanding why. Because deep down they recognize what they never had: absolute self-command. Machiavelli would say, a prince must learn to act according to necessity. The untouchable lives by that creed. He does what must be done, not what feels good, not what looks moral, what's necessary. He moves through the world like a strategist, never emotional, always calculating. His compassion is controlled, his anger is disciplined, and his choices are final. That's why he wins where others waver. He doesn't need to be liked. He needs to be effective. Understand this. Being untouchable doesn't mean isolation. It means independence. You can walk among people, but you are not of them. You can lead but never depend. You can love but never kneel. You are both present and distant, engaged but detached, a paradox they can never decode. That's what keeps you powerful. They will try to imitate you, but imitation always falls short of authenticity. You are the blueprint they can't replicate. So rise now, not as a follower, not as a dreamer, but as the embodiment of controlled power. You've learned the art of silence, the precision of manipulation, the discipline of kings. You are no longer chasing the crown. You are the crown. Type it below for the last time. Seal your transformation in words that echo through every listener who dares to awaken. I am untouchable.